Okay, so next let's talk about lowering our attack surface. Now I want to start by seeing, well, let me back up for a minute. When we're talking about our attack surface, we're talking about vectors of attack. We're talking about ports that are open, typically. It's not the only thing, but typically we're talking about ports that are open and removing those ports that are open or shutting them down if needed. So the first thing we need to do is we need to look at ports that are currently open. So the way we're going to do that is with the command netstat, and then we have, let me do a dash help here. And you'll see that we have a bunch of different options for netstat. And one of them that I actually like quite a bit is netstat -tulpn. And if you look at it, let me do the dash dash help again here real quick. So T gives us our TCP ports, U gives us our UDP ports, N gives us the numeric version, P tells us the programs that are listening, and L includes all listening ports. And you can see all of those here in this list. So let me do the command netstat -tulpn and hit enter. Now this is going to list, I'm going to zoom this out a little bit. So this is going to list all of our ports. Let me go ahead and pipe that through more real quick. All right, so first column is going to be the protocol. TCP, TCP-v6, UDP, UDP-v6. The local address is what is listening on. The ones we want to watch are this first group here that say our state is listening. So those are ports that we are waiting to receive input on. Um, the local address tells us which address we're listening on. The foreign address tells us who's connected. On the listening ports there won't be. And then the program is going to tell us which program is actually using this. So you'll see my top line there is listening on address 0000, which basically means it's listening on any address, port 139, and that's SMBD. That's my Samba daemon listening on TCP port 139. Now that 0000 means it's listening to any address whatsoever. And ideally you don't want that. Ideally what you want to do, most of the time, is filter it down so you're listening to only a single address. So if I have multiple IP addresses, I only want it to be open on the specific addresses that it needs to be. You can see we've got RCP mount D, we've got RCP bind that's listening, we've got the system resolve.d. You'll see we've got the SSHD. So we've got lots of things here that are listening. The way you deal with a listening port, you don't really stop a listening port. What you do is you remove the program. So you see I'm listening on port 443 for a couple of things. And you'll see it here under TCP-v6. I'm listening to port 80 for Apache 2 and port 443 for Apache 2. So if I don't want to listen to those ports, the best thing to do is going to be to stop that particular application. So let's pick an IP one here. This first one, TCP, is the SMBD. Right? So if I wanted to stop listening on that, I would uninstall that application or stop the application. Uninstall is probably going to be a better option. So that's how you're going to go about lowering your attack surface. You monitor it using the netstat, and then I like the TULPN, give me TCP ports, UDP ports, include listening ports, give me the port number, and give me the name of the program. And the name of the program there is really, really beneficial. And then once you identify the applications, then you can stop them or remove them as needed. Let me go and boost our zoom level here up again, make it easier to see the next commands. So let me see which directory I'm in. I'm in the root directory. The next thing we can do is we can create a list of packages that are installed, and this will give us an idea of what all we've got installed and running on our system. So the tool we're going to use is dpkg, and you don't have to be root to run this, by the way. dpkg, or Debian Package Manager, -- get dash selections. Now, this is going to give me all of my installed applications or all of my installed packages, and there's quite a few of them there. So if I want to capture that, what I'll do is I'll redirect that to, oops, get the right thing here, redirect that, and I'm going to call it packages.list, and that's going to give me a list of all of my packages. And then I can nano packages.list, and that will show me, let me zoom out here a little bit so you can see that we're actually in Nano, and that will show me all of the applications that I have currently installed, and they're sorted alphabetically, and I can just kind of scroll through here and look at all of them. Or even better yet is going to be using the Control W to search. And let me search for Samba. SMBD didn't like that. Whoops, probably help if I type the whole thing, but here's Python Samba, Control W, look for Samba again, there's my Samba files. So now that I can find my applications, I can look back through, and this creates nice documentation so I know what was on my system. The other thing it does is it gives me a way to go back and review this pretty easily. I can even take it offline, search for it, or from here I could display it and grep it, or just use the Control W the way I am to navigate through it and find which applications I have currently on my system. And then if I find things I don't need, I can take them off. All right, so that's how we'll go about lowering our attack surface.